mai puțin de 1%, dar...
Și totdeauna se taie unde nu e necesitatea.
Și impactul în societate este absolut colosal. Când te gândești...
Da, și taxarea, acum s-a schimbat cu cluburile, cu concertele, cu taxele. Acum cluburile cer bani să cânti. Deci înainte mergem în Control Club în București sau la Green Hours. Încă nu i-au cerut, dar am înțeles că sunt cluburi care au început să ceară bani pentru sonorizare, pentru sunet. Pe de asta nu se întâmplă, că să dau banii din bilete și tu cântai pe bani din bilete, cum cântă și AG sau oricine. Și că și asta se schimbă, că nu mai au bani și nu supraviețuiesc cluburile, că nu vine lumea să plătească bilete. Da. Se duc toate, din păcate, toate
e o paradigmă. Asta,
da, clar.
Asta în mod evident. Victor Șerban. Trebuie să spun poveste la sfârșit despre un nume pe care tot uitam.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aura Woodward. I'm the director of the Romanian Cultural Institute in London, and I'm in the showroom of MINDTHEGAP in Chelsea, in London. MINDTHEGAP is a Romanian interior design company which has a major anniversary, 10 years since its establishment in Romania by two wonderful artists, Ștefan Ormenișan, who's here on the sofa with me, and Victor Șerban. I grew up in Transylvania, and when I first came into the showroom, it really felt like coming home. So it's really lovely to be here with Ștefan and to learn more about this incredible journey of a company which really has at its heart Romanian traditions, arts and crafts. Everything around us is really inspired by our wonderful traditions. So thank you so much, Ștefan, for having me here on this wonderful sofa, and all the environment is really speaking of Romanian traditions. How did it all start?
First of all, I would like to thank you for joining us in our anniversary year, and for Romanian Cultural Institute for the support. Yeah, it's a bit hard to remember how it all started because it's more than 10 years ago. It started with a very small production company in the middle of nowhere in Transylvania, Târgu Mureș, when me and my business partner, Victor Șerban, had a dream to create something that has never been before in Romania, which means an interior design brand, or an editing house, how it's called in the design industry. It started with like a couple of employers and a big dream to succeed from a country that never existed in the interior design in the world. It started with a small number of people who are also together with us today. So I'm very proud of being like a family business and like a very connected environment. And yeah, I would say after all these 10 years, we are still in the same facility, in the same place, with most of the same people, growing, of course, the business. But yeah, it started with the dream of bringing the Transylvanian culture and the multicultural diversity of Transylvania, which is quite particular, to bring it and show it to the world.
It is really lovely because looking at the patterns, you can see the different influences of our communities. And I know that in your team, you have this diversity very well reflected. And I just wonder, when you come to creating a new collection, and you do have a new collection, which is called Transylvanian Rhapsody.
Yes.
And it really encompasses everything you have achieved over the last 10 years. So when it comes to your team, when you think about a new collection, given how diverse everyone is, what's the thinking, what's the design process like?
Since we are anniversarying the 10 years, we decided to come back with a Transylvanian-inspired collection. 5 years ago, we had the Transylvanian Roots, which was one of the most successful lifestyle collection, the way we call this collection, of including cushions and wallpaper and fabrics and furniture. So almost everything that you need in a house. At that time, we celebrated 5 years with Transylvanian roots, and we've seen the success, and we've seen that it's so important to show to the world by time to time that we belong to a certain place, to a certain culture. That's why Transylvanian Rhapsody. Then, in terms of the process and the design team and the creative experience, we try each year to come with something different and something new, which is a bit hard, I would say, because we are competing with so many brands from around the world and brands that have been established since 60 or 100 years, or maybe over. But still, we managed to find new themes and new creative collections that are inspired from the world culture and from everywhere in the world, that brings in basically the historical elements, the iconic stories, music, books, movies, and other stories that after we put the products into the market are much easier for the customers to connect with. Sorry
to interrupt, but I think it's interesting you mentioned the music, because you are a musician, you are an artist in your own right. You are a jazz musician, a brilliant jazz musician, if I may say that.
Thank you.
It is fascinating, I think, to see how do you invest in this company, which is now present in London and America and Romania and has a good presence in France as well. And then you leave all the finance, I suppose, and the design behind and just go into the mind of the musician. How does it work?
I think I'm very lucky to have my partner who is taking care of the process of the business and to have the whole team, actually, including the marketing team and the design team and the purchasing. So all the stuff that creates this possibility for me and supports my dream to play again music, because I must say that I stopped playing for more than 20 years. So my jazz passion just came alive like 5 years ago. It's not easy to manage, but I found out during these 10 years, I found out that actually music is a very important piece of my life, and that blends into the designs and into the patterns, into the stories. If you look in our collections, you'll see that we have probably at least 3 collections inspired by music, which is Woodstock, and then we had Jazz Live last year. So, and even in other earlier collections of Mind the Gap, we've included stories that were connected to famous songs or famous musicians, because art, after all, is part of our lives, every day, every hour, no matter we are working with or we are doing it, but we are connected to music. I think we cannot live without music. So yeah, it's a tough thing to do both business and music. I try to prioritize the business more, of course, because it's the most important part of my life. I also have a family, so I have to manage all these 3 things together. But yeah, lately the band is becoming more successful. We just won last year the best Romanian act at one of the most important jazz competitions in Romania. So we have to keep the pace with both music and
Well, amazing juggling. I am a little jealous, I have to say. It is a lot of art in what you do. You're absolutely right. And just to go back to this 10th anniversary, so Mind the Gap does fascinating wallpaper. I mean, the patterns, the colors, they're incredibly vivid, but also this amazing piece of furniture. So everything is manufactured in Romania, inspired by our traditions, by our patterns.
Since my teenager period, I was very hooked with the craftsmanship of Transylvania, with the heritage we have there from our roots. So when I started the business together with Victor, we knew that we have this, let's say, gold mine in our country, even within Romania, because Transylvania is part of Romania. We have this gold mine, and we have to take advantage of the craftsmanship we have there. Today, most of our products, including wallpaper and furniture, lighting, wall art, so most of our products are made in Romania, are handcrafted there. Most of them in our factory in Târgu Mureș. But we also have a design studio where everything is happening in Cluj. And then we work with Romanian factories. And to be honest, we are proud to support the local crafts and the local, the local manufacturing as much as we can. We are proud to do that, because after all, it would be a false thing to, to sell an embroidered cushion or a very nice piece of furniture and to say, yeah, it's made in Romania, but to be made in China or whatever else. And we are very proud, I must say, we are very proud that no matter what product we have, we are doing it in Europe, because there are some processes and some products that we can not be made in Romania. But otherwise, we are working with European or even United States suppliers, and this makes me very proud that we keep this local European heritage. Yeah.
You mentioned craftsmanship, and I think that is very clear when you look at the products. I assume it's not necessarily very easy to keep the standard. Because everything you touch, I mean, it's so wonderful here. It's pretty, it's comfortable, it's really lovely to touch.
It's everything. Natural,
exactly, natural fabrics and the colors and everything.
Well done, yeah.
But how does a small company, I suppose, manage to keep this standard of craftsmanship, particularly within such a competitive market? Because you're not just in Romania, but really you are tackling the big markets like the UK, like the US.
Yeah, Actually, we sell over 60% in the United States of our production. So we have to keep the pace with the quality. And as you said, it's a bit hard because these days and the last, I would say, 20, 25 years, more and more factories were closed in Europe due to the Asian competition. So most of the factories have moved, or most of the brands have moved their production in Asia. It's not easy. It's not easy to find qualified people. We need to qualify them in our house, because there is no more, professional schools in Romania. There are no more like professional schools that used to be in Wood or other areas. We try to teach them. We try to even the young ones. We try to teach them the process and the expectations of MINDTHEGAP, because we settled up a very high standard. It's quite a standard on the same level of like very big brands that I cannot say the name now, but because we're celebrating MINDTHEGAP. But yeah, it's not easy, but I think the way we created the company and making our employees to become part of our story, this helps a lot to keep the quality and the standards that we aim for. Yeah.
Well, it is really lovely to hear, because that incorporates then apprenticeships and training and really buying into the philosophy of the company. One of the wonderful things about MINDTHEGAP is how your pieces of furniture can create the simplest and coziest reading corner, all the way to a really elaborate dining room. And it's very rare, I suppose. And then you have the craftsmanship behind it, the details, which you're really careful and determined to keep them right all the time. It is a really lovely story. And for me, I have to say, particularly as a former charity worker who worked for 16 years trying to preserve our traditions and culture back home, it's really wonderful to see how arts and crafts, our history, our culture can really define a very successful business, which is a global business now. And it's wonderful to have this 10th anniversary. Where do you want to be, or would you like to be over the next 10 years?
Hard to say. On the moon? No. I think we have a certain plan for the next, I would say not maybe 10 years, but 5 years. Of course, we aim for more. We aim to open showrooms like this one in London, in the biggest country, I mean the most powerful countries economically. Probably I'm talking about United States, France, Japan maybe. So we have a very good way and a very open place to go with our brand, because it's successful and people just want more and more. I mean, people still discover MINDTHEGAP, even in the United States, where we have a very strong presence. We can see that famous people are using MINDTHEGAP in their houses or in their offices. So I think MINDTHEGAP can achieve a certain position, a higher position into the market. Of course, it takes time. It takes a lot of effort and money and everything you can imagine. Yeah, and then in terms of the products, I would say that we would like to move slowly, maybe into the fashion area, maybe into the accessories area. But also we are thinking to consolidate MINDTHEGAP as a brand, as we did in the last 10 years, and to, it's very easy to achieve a certain position, but it's harder to keep that position.
Exactly. It's always...
Or if I would say for the social media, it's cool to, I mean, it's easy to get cool, but it's hard to stay cool, into the market. So yeah, we have a lot of dreams, a lot of plans. We aim for more, and I'm sure MINDTHEGAP will grow slowly, but very safe very organically, because for us it's still a playground. I mean, we are so lucky to enjoy this brand and this field of interior design, and I think as much as we feel this joy of going at the office every day and creating new things, I think the brand will grow naturally. Yeah.
Well, it is very special to have the joy of going into the office.
Exactly.
And I think that's probably part of the success.
For sure.
A very happy 10th anniversary, MINDTHEGAP.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck for the next 10 years.
Thank you, I appreciate it, and hope to see you in another 10 years. Yeah.
Likewise, I will come anytime. Thank you so much again for having me here. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Aurora. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.